Quick explanation. I thought about doing a prediction video on where these free agents would sign, but for many of these guys, we already have a hunch on what their plans are. I figured it would be much more fun if I did a breakdown video of where each player should sign, based on what I think would be best for their careers. Let me know in the comments section if you agree or disagree and where you think these players should go. Klay will be sitting out at the very least a large portion of this upcoming season after tearing his ACL in the NBA Finals. Klay is expected to re-sign with the Golden State Warriors, and honestly, that's his best option as well. Sure, there's a number of teams who will have the cap space to sign Klay, but ultimately Thompson is an off-ball player whose game works primarily as a secondary option. His style of play is perfectly suited where he's at alongside of Steph Curry. He's beloved in the Bay Area, he can make the most money there, and his legacy so far is essentially as the Scottie Pippen to Steph Curry's Michael Jordan, which is not a bad legacy to have. KD will be returning from a torn Achilles and will probably miss the entirety of this upcoming season as he heals. Despite the unexpected change in circumstances, I still believe Durant's best option is to leave Golden State. KD is a two-time champion and a two-time Finals MVP, yet he still often doesn't receive the credit that his talent deserves, based on the fact that he hopped on the Warriors bandwagon when they were already title contenders. The NBA community as a whole loved Kevin Durant before he joined the Golden State Warriors. He was known as the humble, loyal player who told his mom that she was the real MVP during his MVP acceptance speech. When Kevin Durant went to Golden State, to many it vilified him and made plenty of fans lose respect for him as a competitor. If Kevin is ever going to be respected and embraced by the NBA community as a whole, he's gonna have to be successful outside of Golden State. If Kevin can have success anywhere outside of Golden State, he could earn back a lot of the reputation he lost. But if he could be successful as a New York Knick, that would be something else entirely. The Knicks haven't won a championship since 1973. They haven't even been in serious contention for a championship since the 1990s. Yet despite all of that, New York fans are still incredibly passionate about their Knicks, and Madison Square Garden is still viewed as the premier basketball stage. Many Knicks fans still hold Carmelo freaking Anthony in high regard. Carmelo Anthony, a man who only had a few winning seasons with the Knicks, and a man who could never lead the Knicks past the second round of the playoffs, is still treated like a legend in New York City. Now imagine if Kevin Durant was able to lead the Knicks to be NBA title contenders. Better yet, if Kevin was able to bring a championship to New York for the first time since the 1970s, he could potentially become the most legendary basketball player in New York. It would completely change the narrative around him and immortalize his legacy outside of Golden State. It's certainly a high-risk, high-reward situation, considering the fact that the Knicks organization has been maligned with bad management for years. But with the potential acquisition of Kevin Durant, room for an additional max player, and young pieces ready to make an impact on the league, the Knicks could be ready to turn the franchise around. Not to mention, LeBron is no longer ruling the Eastern Conference. The Celtics are seemingly in disarray right now, with Kyrie Irving almost certainly leaving, and Kawhi could be headed out west after winning a championship with the Raptors. The Eastern Conference appears to have an easier road to the finals than it's had in years. So the time is now for KD to seize the moment and build his own legend elsewhere. Kyrie is an interesting case. He was unhappy playing under LeBron's shadow in Cleveland, and now recently he's had issues in Boston. From Kyrie's own words, he said that he's at a point in his career where he's ready to be the man and the leader of his own team. He initially was linked to the Brooklyn Nets, but reports are now saying that Brooklyn has their concerns about signing Kyrie if Kevin Durant isn't coming alongside him. With that being said, I don't think Brooklyn or a team where Kyrie is the lone star is the best option for him, but rather the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers have a few things to address before they could free up the cap space to sign Kyrie, but if Anthony Davis is willing to decline his $4 million trade bonus, or if the Lakers could trade some of the additional pieces, they could free up close to a max contract. This option would be the best for Kyrie for several reasons. LeBron and Kyrie's split was reminiscent of Kobe and Shaq's split years ago. Kyrie and LeBron have since been able to settle their differences and come to an understanding. The two players rejoining forces would be a mature step that Kobe and Shaq were unable to make. Not to mention the Lakers would be overwhelmingly strong title favorites with a core of LeBron, Davis, Kuzma, and Kyrie. If Irving still has the desire to be the leading man, that opportunity will come. LeBron will be turning 35 years old and will be playing in his 17th season in the NBA. LeBron doesn't have many years left as the leading man, or even that many years left before he retires. Kyrie Irving, meanwhile, is just 27 years old. This is an opportunity for him to leave a lasting and positive note on his legacy with LeBron James. It's an opportunity for him to win a couple more championships, and as LeBron exits the NBA, the torch would naturally be passed to Kyrie to be the leading man of the NBA's most iconic franchise. Even after LeBron's exit, the pairing of Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving would be able to compete for championships as they enter their early 30s. Kemba Walker had himself a breakout season, having just averaged over 25 points per game. He's 29 years old and has spent his entire career playing for Charlotte. The Hornets won't be competing for championships anytime soon, and if we're being honest, Kemba would be getting more recognition as an elite player if he took his talents to a franchise with a bigger market and a greater following. The point guard position is incredibly rich in the NBA, and if Kemba wants to stand out, he'll likely be able to do that playing for a bigger city with more media attention. That's a major reason why I think the New York Knicks would be the best option for Kemba Walker. Kemba, after all, was born in New York. Returning home and potentially joining Kevin Durant there would make the Knicks contenders in the Eastern Conference as soon as KD heals from his Achilles injury. Jimmy has been discontent with most situations he's been in. Chicago, Minnesota, and even Philly have left things to be desired for Butler. The Los Angeles Clippers are going to be aiming for Kawhi Leonard, but assuming they strike out, a solid backup option would be Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy could greatly benefit from going there as well. Butler is a competitive and experienced veteran that's very defensive-minded. His style would fit nicely with what the Clippers are building. He's had issues in the past with younger players who haven't been as serious about hard work and competing. Jimmy likely wouldn't have that issue in LA. He would be surrounded by savvy and experienced veteran players with defensive mindsets, under one of the most experienced and best coaches in the league, Doc Rivers. On paper, this would be a well-balanced group with talent, grit, and experience to compete in the Western Conference. Kawhi Leonard has reportedly been focused on playing in Los Angeles since even before he was traded to the Raptors. He's from Southern California, and returning home to play for the Clippers or Lakers could be a blessing for his personal life. With that being said, Kawhi is only 27 years old. It's easy to forget how young he is since he's already building a legacy for himself with his 2 championships and 2 finals MVPs. If Kawhi wants to play in Los Angeles at some point in his career, he'll almost certainly have more opportunities to do so. His first year in Toronto went about as well as it possibly could have gone. Kawhi is now and forever a legend in Canada after leading the Raptors to their first NBA championship. He's had evident chemistry on and off the court with his new teammates, and he's now recognized by many as the best player in the NBA today. If you ask me, Kawhi should re-sign in Toronto and continue to build upon his already impressive legacy there. He can return to defend the Raptors' crown and continue to build upon the relationships he's enjoyed in his short time there. I understand Southern California has the warmer weather and is home to Kawhi, but when you've won a championship at this location, built strong friendships and chemistry on the court, stand atop an entire country as their hero, and have solidified yourself in the eyes of many as the best player in the game, how could you possibly want to leave that situation? Again, let me know in the comment section what you guys think and where the best options would be for these players to sign. Thanks again for watching. My name is Johnny Arnett. Make sure to like and subscribe. I make videos on NBA history and all around relevant NBA topics. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.